Hi guys, it's Roy from Bellados 3D here with another Blender video tutorial, and in this video tutorial we will be creating a low poly message in a bottle for our low poly pirate style assets. So let's get on with the modelling. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. As you can see, I've got my usual default scene here with the cube in the middle. My screencast keys are being displayed on the right hand side of the viewport. I have a few extra lights in the scene, a 3-point light system that helps me because I'm working in rendered mode. It gives me a bit of light and lets me see it better. And in the UV mapping panel, I have a palette which is attached to a material which I will apply to the objects as we go along. Right, first things first, I think we need a cylinder for a bottle, so we're going to get rid of the cube, by default cube. I'm going to press Shift A, Mesh, and a cylinder. Now it's a little bit high poly, so I'm going to go down to its properties down here, and I'm going to drop that down to 12, and then I'm going to change the cap fill type to nothing, and then close that down. Okay, so we have our cylinder shape. Let's shade smooth, and that gives it a smoother surfaces around the edges. And to make that look even better, if we go to our object data properties and go to normals, we can click auto smooth, and I'm going to bump that up to 50, and it makes it look a little bit smoother on there. Right, let's go into front orthographic mode and hit tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to scale that right down, so I want it about half that size, S.5, and bring that down. And I'm going to bring that up, GZ 0.5, yes, so that the origin point is on the bottom of the model. And in edge select mode, by pressing 2 or clicking the little button up here, I'm going to press Alt and click on this edge here, so that selects the whole loop all the way round. And I'm going to go G and Z, and I'm going to bring that up to about height of a bottle. I'd say that would be about right. Okay, let's spin it around again. With this loop still selected, I'm going to press E, and as you can see, that extrudes the selection. If I press the right mouse button right now, that will snap right back. And if I press G, I can move it around still. It's still there, it's just hidden by the other geometry. And what I want to do now is press S and scale it in to about the width of a neck of a bottle, about there, I'd say. And then I'm just going to slightly bring that up by G and Z on the Z axis. And as you can see, that gives it a bit of shape there. Now if I press E and Z to exclude it to the Z axis, I can bring it back, and I'd say about there would be enough. And let's press E and snap it back and scale it out. E, Z, bring it up, I'd say about there. And then again with the top, E, snap it back and scale it in. I don't need it a huge amount scaled in, just about there, I would say. Now I'm not going to do the inside of the bottle because this is going to be glass, so you're going to see through it anyway, so less geometry on the inside better. So I'm going to select this bottom edge again, I'm going to press E, scale it in about halfway. I'm just going to bring it up by pressing G and Z just to give it a little bit of a curve there, and I'm just going to fill it. Right, now we've got our general bottle shape. Doesn't look like a real bottle, does it? But it's getting there. So what I need to do is I need to give it a bit more curve on the edges. So I'm going to select this edge here by alt clicking it. I'm going to press Control and B, and I'm going to slide that down. Maybe bring it up with the scroll wheel 1, 2 times, and bring that down a little bit. And that gives it a nice curve of on the neck of the bottle there. And then again, I'm going to go Alt and click on this one. Now when you bevel, when the edge is going the other way, you get the bevel going the other way. So I'm going to bring that down to 1, 2, and just bring that to about there. So we now have a much better curve going up there, much more realistic. And we also need to do the same on the top here. So I'm going to do this all in one by selecting that edge and selecting that edge. Control B, and if I hold down the shift, I've got finer control. I'm going to scroll all the way down and then back up one, and there we have our bottle there. Now we need to do the bottom because the bottom looks a little bit flat. So select the bottom edge, Control B, I'm going to scroll that up. I'm going to make it 2 loops and bring it up about there. So now we have our bottle, and all we need to do really is to colour it. I'm going to use a slightly different technique this time, but before I do that, I'm going to make space on here for a label. So I'm going to press Control R. I'm going to make 2 edge loops and put it right in the middle there, and then press S and Z, and I'm going to scale it up and give it a nice label there. Okay, so we now have space there for the label, so I'm going to press 3 to go into face mode. I'm going to select the shape of my label, 3 to go into face mode, and select, I want a fairly square label, so I'm going to maybe select these ones like so, and I think that would be about right. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to press Alt-E and extrude them out along the face normals. So if I hold the shift and fine control, I can bring them out just a tiny bit so that the label's not flush, flat on the bottle, so it's sticking out slightly. Okay, right. Then I'm going to press Control Plus to go up a level, and I'm going to unwrap that separately by pressing U and unwrap, and obviously that now gives us a very warped looking UV. So what I need to do is I need to mark some seams. So I'm going to go back into Edge Select. I'm going to Alt click on this edge, Shift Alt click here, here, and around here, and press Control E and mark seams. And then, so that it folds out better, I'm going to select this little corner piece here, this tiny little corner piece here, and this tiny little corner piece here, as well as this final corner piece just here, and press Control E and mark seam. Now if I'm in face mode, I can then hover my cursor over that area and press L. It should only select that area, but I seem to have missed something. Oh, it hasn't gone back into face mode, that's why, sorry. 3. I think I've got a problem with my 3 key. Let's clear the selection, and now it's in face mode, L, and it will only select that area there. Now if I press U now and press unwrap, it will give a much cleaner result. However, if I select this face just up here just to see where it is, right, so it needs to go that way. It's still a little bit warped, so I'm going to R90, and that's turned the wrong way, so minus R-90. We'll do that. I'm just going to clear off this palette for now for this label because it's a different label. And as you can see, we've got warping along the edges. Now an easy way to get rid of this is in edge select mode, Alt select that top edge and press S to scale on the Y axis by pressing Y, and then 0, and that straightens it out. Press enter, and then you go down along each of these SY0, SY0, SY0. Now this will stretch the texture on the model in extreme cases, but little changes like this, it makes it a lot better. It actually helps and it improves the shape of the label of the texture. So let's put that in the middle there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a new material. So I'm going to go down to the material tab, I'm going to press plus and select new, and I'm going to change that name by double clicking it to label. Right, so we now have our material. We need to assign it, so click on assign, and then let's go to the shading tab. And once in the shading tab, we can see the model. and it gives us two nodes here, which is the principled BDSF and the output. The output's needed to display it on the model. The BDSF is, or BSDF, sorry, is what we add our materials to. Now all I need is a single texture, so I'm going to press Shift and A, and I'm going to select texture, image texture. I'll plonk that right down there. Then click the open, and as you can see, there's our label that we're going to use. I have downloaded this from Pixaby, which is completely royalty free for commercial and non-commercial use, and I will leave a link to this image in the description. So let's select that and open image, and now if I just bring that over and link the two color nodes there, that should, if I'm in rendered node, now show our label on there. Now it's showing the whole model as the label, because the whole model's got the material. The first material you add to an object, even if you only assign it to one area, will apply to the whole object. So you need to create another material for the rest of the object. So let's go back into our UV editing mode. We've already got that label selected, so let's press Ctrl and I, and that inverts our selection. And we'll create a new material by pressing the plus button here. Now we're not going to create an actual new material. I've already got the material available. And if we go to this drop down menu, you'll find it on there. You'll find main palette. And then click assign, and it assigns that palette. So let's go back to our palette on here. And I'm going to press U and reset to reset the UVs. And over the palette, A, S and 0. To bring that down, I'm going to bring that over to my glossy stuff, and I'm going to give it a sort of browny sort of colour up here, dark sort of browny colour there. Now obviously that doesn't look like glass at the moment, we will fix that later. For now we're going back to the label, pressing Ctrl and I, and I'm going to bring back my label in the display. And what we want to do is we want to fit this label into this model. So first things first, I don't want to try and stretch the texture, but I will if I have to. But what I want to do is I want to scale it all the way up and just bring it so that it's in line. GY. It doesn't matter if you overlap, because the textures will tile if you overlap. And let's go back to our main window. And by the way, I'm focusing on windows like this by pressing Control and Spacebar, and that toggles the window that you're looking at. Gives you a bit of better view. Now, obviously, as you can see, it's tiling there. We don't want this bit tiling like that. So let's go back into the UV. I'm going to press S and X. I'm going to bring it in to about there. And I think maybe S and Y, bring that up about there. And that doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit stretched, but yeah, I think we're going to have to leave it stretched for now on this one. It's not that great a texture for this. S and X. Just bring it in just enough. I think that looks okay for now. Okay, let's start making the glass. So I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to press the plus button over here, select new, and I'm going to change that to glass. I'm going to go down to here where it says surface. I'm going to click principled BSDF and change it to glass BSDF. Now if we go into our shading tab, you'll see that we have a glass and a material output. So what I want to do is press Shift and A, and I need to add a texture. But this is the long way around doing it. If you've got Node Wrangler installed, you can select the BSDF and press Ctrl and T, and that gives you the whole setup you need for your textures straight there, attached to your BSDF. So we press the open button, and what I want to do is I want to go back to my textures and select, let's see, this one. Okay, and now if we go back into rendered mode, it doesn't seem to have done very much because we haven't changed the material on the selected. So let's click on in edit mode with the faces selected, click on glass and click on assign. Now it doesn't look that great right now because you need to do a couple of tweaks on the in Blender to get glass looking like glass. So first things first, in the glass material we need to turn on screen space reflection and subsurface translucency, and that helps a little bit. And make sure screen space reflections is turned on, ambient occlusion and bloom. And now what we need, because the glass shader almost solely relies, as you can see it is transparent there, but it does rely on lighting. So what we need to do is we need to press Shift A and add a light, an area light. I'm just going to scale that up a little bit, and then if I press G and Z and bring it up, and then as you can see through it a bit better there like that. And let's go back into editing mode, UV editing, and bring back our texture there. Where is it? There it is. Bring back our texture, and let's choose another colour because I think that's a little bit light. So I mean, if you bring it down, that's really light there, like that. Let's bring it down to about there. That's quite nice. Actually, let's have it as a green bottle. I like green. Let's bring it up to the greens. And that's a nice green bottle. And as you can see, it's transparent there. And the final touch for the glass would be to go back into the area light quickly, increase the power of the area light to make it a little bit brighter, and turn off shadows. And that really brings in the glass shader, makes it look so much better like that. Now all we have to do is add the scroll, and we're going to do that by using another little feature of Blender called append. And what this allows you to do is to open up other blend files and drill down through its file structure, find the object you want and pull it into your current session. So you need to go to File and Append, and you'll find your file, scroll. There's the blend file, low poly scroll. Go into that, and as you can see, it shows all the brushes, cameras, collections, lights, materials, meshes, objects. So we're going into object, and naughty, I haven't renamed the mesh, but I know it's this one, the cube. So I'm going to select that and press append. And as you can see, the scroll is now in the scene. I'm going to isolate that scroll with the backslash key on the numpad, just so I can just see that. I'm going to go select it, and I'm going to press Alt R to reset its rotation. I'm going to go in and clear my selection. I'm going to select all of these pieces here. I'm going to delete them, XF. So I've only got the scroll left. And now what I want to do is select everything, rotate 90 degrees, come back into edit mode, and if I press the backslash on the numpad again, it brings it back. And obviously I want to make that fit. So into edit mode, I'm going to press S, and I'm going to press Shift Z to exclude the Z-axis, and I'm going to shrink that down until it disappears inside there. Maybe move it up just a little bit, and let's have a look. And I'm going to rotate that on the Z-axis 180 degrees, so from the front we have a bit of a better view on that. And there we have it, our low poly message in a bottle. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you've learned something from it as usual. If you like it, hit the like button, share with your friends, and if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.